Mr. MegaManFan and Tango. Like, share, comment, subscribe. I'm trying to film an episode of Genesis Does, but every time I try to do something with the mouse, he grabs my hand and starts licking my fingers again, so I decided that he really wants to be included in this video, but what I'm trying to do is add another core to the Analogue Pocket. There is a Genesis core now, and I'm going to put it on the drive via the usual methodology. And if you don't know what the usual methodology is, see over here, I've got the Analogue Pocket in this folder here, and you have to open the zip file and drop everything into every one of these folders. You have to go to the assets folder on your Pocket's micro SD card and drop the Genesis folder in there, and then you have to go to the cores and drop the Genesis core in there, which is made by Eric Lewis. github.com/Eric Lewis, github.com/ERICLEWYS. And of course, you're also going to need the image files. So under platforms, you're going to drop genesis.json, and in the underscore images folder, you're going to drop genesis.bin. So I'm in the process right now of moving everything that I want to test over to the Analogue Pocket. This is a very alpha core by Eric Lewis's own description. He says only NTSC releases work and there will be bugs, and it's in like version 0.05 right now, so I'm only putting a few games on the Pocket and we'll see if they work, and you'll see firsthand, so bear with me and Tango and I'll be right back. So I've gone ahead and loaded up the cores, and now it's time to power on the Pocket and see what happens. We go to Open FPGA. Genesis is a selectable option now. Let's run it. And since I am Mr. MegaManFan, let's start with the Wily Wars. Other than that weird little bit of graphical error at the top, it seems to be working pretty well. For being in an alpha state, I would call it playable. The games itself aren't glitching. There may be a little bit of glitchiness at the top of the display, but the actual game is working just fine. And Tango is reaching for me again. Yes, buddy. You don't have to be jealous. You're named after a cat from Mega Man. You are part of this legacy, buddy. Obviously, sound and graphics may not be perfect, but this sure looks good to me. Feel like going my finger there. And of course, some features are not going to be available in this early alpha build of the core. You're not going to have save states, you're not going to be able to sleep and wake, but if you just want to be able to play Genesis games on a Pocket, you can certainly do that here. Yes, confirm. I want to try a different game. I know I'm Mr. MegaManFan, but got to put this core to the test, so let's go with one of my all-time favorite games. Keep in mind, as far as I'm concerned, these are legal backups because I do own all of the games that I'm showing you. And it appears that Rocket Knight Adventures is one of the ones that just doesn't work on this core, which is okay. I knew that not everything would, but you would expect Sonic the Hedgehog to work. And again, with a little bit of graphical glitchiness at the top. And, oh, actually, it doesn't seem to be running. Now, wouldn't that be weird if the only thing that worked was Mega Man The Wily Wars? I mean, that would be sort of appropriate for the channel, but that would be hilarious if it was the case. Let's try it again. Sonic 2. Huh. Well, it's trying to do something, but we can't see it. It's there somewhere. Let's go back to Wily Wars and make sure that wasn't just a fluke the first time around that it worked. No? Well, I'll be damned. So far, the only thing I can actually get to work on this core is Wily Wars. How do you like that, Tango? What do you think about that? He's an adorable muffin. So yeah, it's going to be hit or miss with the core in this early state, but I would say experiment with it. Some games will work, some won't. Use your NTSC backups as opposed to PAL games, European games. Those probably won't work, so that's why I'm using the, as it's called, aftermarket version of Wily Wars that was licensed by Retrobit, which also has some speed and timing fixes, the one that I unboxed on this channel. And apparently those changes also make it more compatible with this core, at least compared to the other things that I tried. So, I guess what I'm really saying for this episode of Genesis Does is I want to know what kind of luck you have if you're using this alpha, which is 0.05. Let me know what kind of results you get, and if you're using something later than that that's probably more compatible, let me know as well. And if you got any of the things running that I didn't on this core, like Sonic, well, then give me that feedback as well. I welcome your comments. I'm on Twitter at Mr. MegaManFan, MrMegaManFan. And again, this core, if you have a Pocket, all you have to do is transfer all the folders to the micro SD card in your Pocket. GitHub.com/Eric Lewis. But I'm Mr. MegaManFan. This is Tango. We both say thank you for watching, and I will see you again in a future video. Bye-bye for now.
Genesis does. Genesis does. Genesis does. Genesis does. Genesis does. What Nintendo